It is Monday morning. I hope you guys had an amazing weekend. Let's see. I hope you got to go outside and play. I hope you got to play with your toys. I hope you made something fabulous, like some creation this weekend, maybe with Legos or blocks or crayons, I don't care. And I hope you remembered to help around the house. That's what I'm hoping for. Okay, so today we are going to start a new book, and this one is a good book. I like it a lot because it's very good for like thinking about the earth and taking care of the earth, which is super important. We are not going to have a comprehension test on this book because we only have 4 days of school this week because Friday's Good Friday. So that part's different, but I do want you to really think about this book. And this week we're still going to work on characters, understanding a character inside and outside, and making inferences and thinking about like what motivates them, why do they do the things they do. So this book today is called Miss Rumphius, and it's by Barbara Cooney, and it is a winner of the American Book Award. So I'll show you this. And when you look at the title, I'm going to give you just a second and look at the cover. Let's make a prediction about what you think this book could be about. So think to yourself of what you see, and then in your mind, make a little prediction. What do you think it's going to be about? And I want to give you one thing that I notice about this in this time of the year. When I look at these flowers, they remind me of the Texas bluebonnets. Does that remind you at all of the Texas bluebonnet? And look at this cat sneaking down through the grass. All right, so can't tell me your prediction right now, but I want you to lock it in your head, and then let's just see. Is your prediction going to change as we read the pages? You're like, oh, you get a little more information, and then you think, I bet the rest of it's going to be about this now. So keep thinking as I'm reading about your prediction and see if it changes a little bit. And then remember, we're thinking about these main characters. All right, here we go, and I'll show you the picture in a second. The Lupine lady lives in a small house overlooking the sea. In between the rocks around her house grow blue and purple and rose-colored flowers. The Lupine lady is little and old, but she's not always been that way. I know. She is my great aunt, and she told me so. Once upon a time, she was a little girl named Alice, who lived in the city by the sea. From her stoop, she could see the wharves and the bristling masts of tall ships. Many years ago, her grandfather had come to America on a large sailing ship. So here she is. And when it says she's on her stoop, a stoop is like the top stairs, so kind of like on her porch, and she's looking out. I would love to be able to look at the water from my house, because you guys know the beach is my happy place. I think that would be so beautiful. Okay, so here it's a picture. Let's see. Oh, I skipped. No, that's right. Her grandfather. Okay. Now he worked in the shop at the bottom of the house, making figureheads for the prows of ships and carving Indians out of wood to put in front of cigar stores. For Alice's grandfather was an artist. He painted pictures too of sailing ships and places across the sea. When he was very busy, Alice helped him put in the skies. So when it says the making a figurehead for the prow of the ship, do you see that little figurehead? I always think of, when I think of a figurehead on a ship, I kind of think of a pirate ship. You know, sometimes they have pictures like that in front. And I like that Alice is getting to help him. He's such an artist, but he's letting her come down and help. In the evening, Alice sat on her grandfather's knee and listened to his stories of faraway places. When he had finished, Alice would say, "When I grow up, I too will go to faraway places. And when I grow old, I too will live beside the sea." "That is all very well, little Alice," said Grandfather, "but there is a third thing you must do." "What is that?" asked Alice. "You must do something to make the world more beautiful," her grandfather said. "All right," said Alice, but she didn't know what that could be. In the meantime, Alice got up and washed her face and ate porridge for breakfast. She went to school and came home and did her homework. And pretty soon, she was all grown up. Ooh, I like that direction. Do something to make the world more beautiful. That's very good direction. Then my great Aunt Alice set out to do the 3 things she had told her grandfather she was going to do. She left home and went to live in another city far from the sea and the salt air. There she worked in a library, dusting books and keeping them from getting mixed up, and helping people find the ones they wanted. Some of the books told her about faraway places. People called her Miss Rumphius now. So here she is, grown up. Instead of calling her Alice, they're calling her Miss Rumphius. She's the librarian. So she doesn't live by the sea, but right now she hasn't visited faraway places, but she's read about them. Sometimes she went to the conservatory in the middle of the park. When she stepped inside on a wintry day, the warm, moist air wrapped itself around her, and the sweet smell of jasmine filled her nose. "This is almost like a tropical isle," Miss Rumphius said, "but not quite." So this is a conservatory. It's like a greenhouse in the middle where you can grow plants and things. So even though it's super cold outside, they can grow plants. Here she is inside of it. And when it says she smells jasmine, I don't know if you've smelt that, but it's a flower. And a lot of times it's used in perfume because it smells so good. Next picture. Look at this one. So Miss Rumphius went to a real tropical island where people kept cockatoos and monkeys as pets. She walked on long beaches picking up beautiful shells. One day, she met the Bapa Raha, king of the fishing village. "You must be tired," he said. "Come into my house and rest." So Miss Rumphius went in and met the Bapa Raha's wife. The Bapa Raha himself fetched a green coconut and cut a slice off the top so that Miss Rumphius could drink the fresh coconut water inside. Before she left, the Bapa Raha gave her a beautiful mother-of-pearl shell on which he had painted a bird of paradise and the words, "You will always remain in my heart." "You will always remain in mine, too," said Miss Rumphius. Can you imagine living on an island with a monkey as a pet instead of a dog or a kitty cat? I would love to go to that tropical island. And I really love those words. "You will always remain in my heart." Okay. I don't know why I'm having trouble turning pages today. My great aunt, Miss Alice Rumphius, climbed tall mountains where the snow never melted. She went through jungles and across deserts. She saw lions playing and kangaroos jumping, and everywhere she made friends she would never forget. Finally, she came to the land of the lotus eaters, and there, getting off a camel, she hurt her back. "What a foolish thing to do," said Miss Rumphius. "Well, I have certainly seen faraway places. Maybe it is time to find my place by the sea." And that is what she did. So she had been on all these great adventures in faraway places, so she was able to do that. That was one of the things she wanted to do with her life. But she hurt her back. That's not good. From the porch of her new house, Miss Rumphius watched the sun come up. She watched it cross the heavens and sparkle on the water, and she saw it set in glory in the evenings. She started a little garden among the rocks that surrounded her house, and she planted a few flower seeds in the stony ground. Miss Rumphius was almost perfectly happy. "But there is still one more thing I have to do," she said. Do you remember what it was? "I have to do something to make the world more beautiful." "But what? The world already is pretty nice," she thought, looking out at the ocean. You think that'd be a fun place to live? Look at all that land. She could run around if her back is feeling okay. Hey, look, there's that kitty cat. Let's see what happens. The next spring, Miss Rumphius was not very well. Her back was bothering her again, and she had to stay in bed most of the time. The flowers she had planted the summer before had come up and bloomed in spite of the stony ground. She could see them from her bedroom window, blue and purple and rose-colored. Do you see them? They're just barely popping up over the windowsill. "Lupines," said Miss Rumphius with satisfaction. "I have always loved lupines best. I wish I could plant more seeds this summer so that I could have still more flowers next year." But she was not able to. She wasn't feeling well enough to go out and plant more. But she's very thankful for the ones she has outside. After a hard winter, spring came. Miss Rumphius was feeling much better. Now she could take walks again. One afternoon, she started to go up and over the hill where she had not been in a long time. "I don't believe my eyes," she cried when she got to the top. For there, on the other side of the hill, was a large patch of blue and purple and rose-colored lupines. "It was the wind," she said, as she knelt in delight. "It was the wind that brought the seeds from my garden here, and the birds must have helped." Then Miss Rumphius had a wonderful idea. Stop and think. The wind brought the seeds from my garden here, and the birds must have helped. How would a bird help a flower get to a new location? Think about that one today, and we're going to talk about it tomorrow, because I want you to think about it. I don't want to answer it right away. It's kind of a funny answer. She hurried home and got out her seed catalogs. She sent off to the very best seed house for 5 bushels of lupine seed. All that summer, Miss Rumphius, her pockets full of seeds, wandered over fields and headlands sowing lupines. She scattered seeds along the highways and down the country lanes. She flung handfuls of seeds around the schoolhouse and back of the church. She tossed them into hollows and along stone walls. Her back didn't hurt her anymore at all. But now some people called her that crazy old lady. Look, everywhere she goes, she's just throwing some seeds out. We know that seeds need soil usually, and light and food. What do you think? Is this gonna work? The next spring, there were lupines everywhere. Fields and hillsides were covered with blue and purple and rose-colored flowers. They bloomed along the highways and down the lanes. Bright patches lay around the schoolhouse and back of the church. Down in the hollows and along the stone walls grew the beautiful flowers. Miss Rumphius had done the third and most difficult thing of all. Do you remember the 3 things she wanted to do? So this was the third thing to make the world more beautiful. My great Aunt Alice, Miss Rumphius, is very old now. Her hair is very white. Every year there are more and more lupines. Now they call her the Lupine Lady. Sometimes my friends stand with me outside her gate, curious to see the old lady who planted the field of lupines. When she invites us in, they come slowly. They think she's the oldest woman in the world. Often she tells us stories of faraway places. When I grow up, I tell her, I too will go to faraway places and come home to live by the sea. That is all very well, little Alice, says my aunt, but there is a third thing you must do. What is that? I ask. You must do something to make the world more beautiful. All right, I say. So here they are. I think this is cute, like standing at her gate, and then she invites them in, and they get to hear all about the places she went. And this, do you remember the beginning of the story? How much that Alice liked that with her grandfather? And now, see, she would loved it when she sat on his lap and he told her stories. And now she's doing that with the neighborhood kids and with her niece. And the last page says, but I do not know yet what that can be. So to make the world more beautiful, she's not sure what it will be yet, but she wants to do that too. And the reason I said it reminds me of the bluebonnet so much is because we don't really plant those. They come up yearly. We always watch for them. They can get more and more because those seeds spread and the beauty just continues on and on and on. So that was our story this week, Miss Rumphius. So I want you to think about her as a character. How would we describe her? You're not going to do anything with it today, just to sit and think about it. How would we describe her as a character? What did she do with her life? Those kind of things. And so this week, because we're going to keep talking about reduce, reuse, recycle, we're going to think to ourselves, what can we do to make the world more beautiful? How can we help? And it doesn't have to be beautiful with things like flowers. How can our actions make the world more beautiful? Think about that. Okay? I will see you guys later. I hope you have a fabulous day. Bye.